Oh, hey, we're back. Thanks for sticking through the little tech hiccup we had there. We just had some internet issues, but appreciate you sticking around. I'm back. It's me again, Conception 2. We're going to be running another handheld Harry Potter game. This one is Prisoner of Azkaban for the Game Boy Advanced. So we are just going to jump right into it. Timer will start in 3, 2, 1, go. So this is another turn-based RPG game. It is made by the same company that made HP1 GBC and HP2 GBC, Kryptonite Games, but as you can see, it is stylistically very different. At this stage in the development, the company Kryptonite Games got pushback from EA, the publisher, saying, could you please make it more movie focused and update the graphics a little bit? So that's what they did. Right off the bat, we're a little bit unlucky. We're going to lose 3 seconds off the top. If we had gone first here, this fight would have been faster, but now the Monster Book of Monsters here gets 2 attacks instead of 1. So we lost about 3 seconds. Not a big deal. It's a coin flip, basically. There we go. So there we go. It's done now, though. You're gonna notice in this run, there's a lot right at the beginning that is actually significantly waste significant time right in the beginning of the run. Which that fight, which only loses a few seconds, but the boss of this Leaky Cauldron area, a giant rat, which I like to call Chuck, as in Chuck E. Cheese, can really troll us. We have to get first turn really to be successful, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Yeah, you can already notice that the sprites in the game here, they're more focused on the movie, the actors in the movie, as opposed to the, just a picture designed in art of what the character is supposed to be like. So you can already see the influences. This game also adds some unique things, such as puzzle solving in the overworld with spells. So this is the first time we get to cast spells in the overworld in the RPG series. So you'll see there, I cast Lumos, and I'm actually going to pause and unpause to cancel the rest of that Lumos cast. Otherwise, I'd had to have waited for it to expire in order to then cast Flipendo on that barrel to get by. These are encounters, yet another like blue wisp of cloud, but these are more like blue orbs of light, and they're much bigger, but they are much bigger and they move around, but they're easier to avoid. They don't pop up randomly, they're just kind of set, so that makes it a little bit easier. You're gonna notice here, we're gonna try, yeah, I knew I wasn't lined up well for that, that's why I didn't move. Hit that block at an angle so we can then cross by. Head up here, grab this. We're just grabbing Witches and Wizards cards for some card combos that we're gonna use later on, very similar to the last run that I just did. Was listening for a sound cue there. What we're meant to do here is use Lumos so we can see the path, but the path never changes, so we just know what the path is. So I just wait for the sound cue of the door opening, which gives me the indication that I need to move up. Here is the rat boss that I was telling you about, Chuck. Oops, I accidentally cast a spell. So if we don't go first here, we are most likely gonna die, which is exactly why I saved. Hey, we get to go first, so that's good. But if we hadn't gone first there, we would have needed to hope for a miss from the rat or a crit from us in order to even have a chance of surviving. Even so, when we get to go first, we still have a chance of dying if the rat decides to max roll. That was really good. We got a crit. We got to go first and a crit, which is literally the fastest it can go. That usually takes 3 turns, but now it takes 2. Excellent. That's really good. All right. And you might have noticed we were just short of experience there, but we'll be fine now as we hit that block and that caused us to level up there. All right. So another thing, in this game we get to use Ron and Hermione in battle, and we actually get to use the 3 of them a lot. But there are overworld puzzles that are introduced in this game where you have to choose to use either Ron or Hermione. And basically anytime that comes up, because it's a speedrun, we're going to choose the fastest option. We're going to get our first iteration of that here, and Hermione is the fastest option, so we're going to choose Hermione. There we go. So we choose Hermione. I was just a little extra careful because I've accidentally chosen the wrong one before there. So a little extra careful there just to make sure we get the right choice. And then now we got to go back down into the cellar to chase Scabbers and Crookshanks. We're going to take a very different path. We got to cross this Lumos bridge, but then obviously we're going to go in that doorway up ahead. We're not going to pause cancel the Lumos casting because when we enter, it cancels it for us. But Hermione has a spell called Reparo that she's going to use to repair bridges and things like that. So you'll notice that each of the 3 characters have their own unique spells that are used in the overworld, and a lot of times they're also used in battle too, and they are specific to each character. For example, they all have Flipendo, but only Harry has Lumos. Hermione has Reparo, and at this point Ron has Alohomora, but taking Ron's path is just longer with the gates and stuff, so we go this way because it's faster. There's Crookshanks. Switch back to Reparo. And there we are. We're gonna grab this card, and we are done in the Leaky Cauldron already. Not too bad of a Leaky Cauldron. The only thing that really went wrong was the monster book. So, not too bad. All right. We head in, we're on the Hogwarts Express. This is where we meet Lupin. Lupin is sleeping, and there's just like a little extended cutscene sequence, which I'm gonna use to sip some water. Stay hydrated, folks. Especially when you're talking for long periods of time in a sweltering Harry Potter costume. All right, so that's Neville. Neville says he lost his frog, classic Neville. We gotta go find the frog. But as you'll see, it's not gonna be that easy. Oops, if I could walk. All of a sudden it is spooky on the train. There's Neville's frog, but now we're getting attacked by Dementors. The worst part about prison. Harry passes out from the Dementors here. Now we only have access to Ron and Hermione. We're gonna cast spells on these 2 doors here. And for whatever reason, you can kind of see that there's 2 XP that popped up per those door casting. It'll say like 10 XP on top of another 10 XP, which makes you think that Ron and Hermione get 10 XP each. For whatever reason, in this room, Hermione gets all of the XP and Ron gets none of it. And I'm not really sure why. We originally thought if you swapped to Ron here, they would split the XP, but that was proven false. So we're not really sure why. We're gonna take Ron here, actually, because his path is faster. And we have an unskippable encounter here where we fight a snake and a spider. Ron hates spiders, naturally. But this is the first instance we get to see of special powers. They make a return in this game. Kind of, they're relatively similar to what they are in HP2 GBC. Ron's is again throwing stuff, but it's not Scabbers based now. He throws things like stink pellets and wizard crackers. Harry's are still card combos, that hasn't changed. And Hermione's are what's called lectures, and the lectures are actually very powerful. They give us a lot of important buffs. She has 3 different ones. One gives a defensive buff, one gives an offensive buff to one character, and one gives an experience buff where we collect more experience from a particular encounter if it's cast during that encounter. All right, so Ron's task here was to gather chocolate for Harry so he feels better. So he just goes and talks to the trolley worker here to get a bar of chocolate, and we just walk a little bit out of the way to get a pepper up potion, which is going to be very important for later on. And we just walk our way back. That's all you got to do on Ron's side. Hermione's side is a little bit longer, so. And just like that, we're in the castle. There's Malfoy, classic Malfoy. I have a feeling we'll see him again. You'll notice that we pick up a lot of more items from chests here, and that's just because we use more card combos in this game than we do in the previous. So most of the chests that we're picking up are cards for card combos, but we also do pick up just potions in the overworld that makes things very easy for us later on. The other cool thing about this game in comparison to 2 is that you can actually just, from this portrait room, go to any floor on the castle. So we needed to head to Gryffindor Common Room, obviously, which is on floor 7. But we just enter the portrait room from the ground floor and then use this portrait to get to floor 7. It's great. We grabbed that anti-paralysis potion, which will be potentially useful in one of our end-game boss battles. We have quite a bit of, just plot exposition here. So if we got any plugs, donations, don't forget our unofficial house cup is going on. So more donations towards your house of choice, please. Gryffindor is in a commanding lead, so let's see if it can be overtaken.
Since we don't have any new donations at the moment, let me just remind you that this is the Trans Rights Are Magical Marathon, where we showcase Harry Potter video games in response to the anti-trans bullshit of the creator of the Harry Potter series. And we are raising money for Trans Lifeline, which is a grassroots non-profit organization offering emotional and financial support to trans people in crisis. To donate, use the link in the chat, and to learn more about Trans Lifeline, you can visit translifeline.org.
Yes, excellent. Thank you so much. Get those donations, and not only is it such an important cause, but let's just continue to celebrate a property and not celebrate the person who made the property. Let's just put it that way. So, as I mentioned before, any good Harry Potter game has some classes that we have to do, which this one is Transfiguration. Transfiguration is a particularly annoying class because it has an annoying puzzle, and it also has a boss fight that can complicate things. Where hopefully we get the easiest of both, but this puzzle is done by Harry and Hermione. We're not even given the choice here. Ron doesn't even get to partake, so it's just Harry and Hermione. Okay, so first thing we have to do is we have to get by, oh geez. Well, first thing we should have done was avoid these encounters, but sometimes you walk into them. So there's this block puzzle here, which you just do by flipendoing the blocks, and you're meant to also destroy the barrels, but you really don't have to. So we save a little time there. This is the puzzle that's really annoying. It's not annoying to solve. It's annoying because these encounters can really get in your way. So we actually cast right in the middle so we can push 2 blocks at once there. You can see why it's kind of annoying, because what the hitbox of these flipendo blocks are very weird. Like that. Unfortunately, since we hit both, I have to reset the puzzle there. That is exactly why this puzzle is super annoying, because the hitbox is just bonkers. Go on. Let's try it again. There we go. So we're actually going to come up here. Oops. We hit it at an angle, it'll still go over to the right, which is good. Okay, so that was bad, but we got by it. Here we are, and we're actually going to save here because this is the boss fight for this challenge, which is Crab and Goyle. Oop, wrong one. There we go. So we get to use Hermione's lecture for the first time, which we're going to use the defensive one called Be More Careful. We're going to use it on Hermione. So them attacking Hermione is actually decent here. If they attack Harry, Harry's going to get the full brunt of it. So because he doesn't have a defensive bonus. So Hermione is actually good. Harry's going to use a card combo called Rain of Bludgers here. Does a flat 20 damage to both enemies, so it's very powerful. And then Hermione is going to start taking out Goyle. We take out Goyle first because Goyle does the most damage. We're going to use the Incendio spell to do that as quick as we can. Harry's going to do the same thing. We're just going to target Goyle until he's down. All right, he'll get one more cast unless we get like a crit or something, but yeah. That's fine. They're actually divvying up damage pretty well, so that's good. All right, so Goyle will be down after this. We just have Crab to focus on. Crab, we actually switched to Vertimilius, which is good because it costs less magic per use, but it does like the same amount of damage. And now we only have one enemy to worry about at a time, so that's even better. All right, one more hit for Goyle, and that'll do it. Ooh, crit on Harry. It doesn't really matter. Unlike Harry Potter 2, even if Harry had died here, it would have been fine. Oh, there's the crit. Jeez. Of course, it's useless. If Harry would have died here, it actually would have been fine because they removed that feature that if you're down, you can't get experience from the fight. Even if Harry would have died there, he would have gotten the experience from the fight if Hermione was able to finish it. So it's not as big of a deal as it is in Harry Potter 2. All right, we have one last puzzle here. This puzzle is easy. The only thing that's finicky is, again, the hitboxes on the boxes, like that. But it's very simple. And if we had gotten that puzzle right the first try, that would have been a decent transfiguration, but because we had to reset that puzzle, we lost like 15 seconds or so. All right. Now we're moving on to our next class, which is Care of Magical Creatures, a class that is new to third-year students and is outside, and this year is being taught by Hagrid, so that's fun. The class, what it's going to entail is that, if you remember at the beginning of the game, the first fight of the game was against the Monster Book of Monsters, which is a textbook for this class, but it's also a monster in itself. Hagrid has a bunch of extras of these copies of books that the students need to rent, but the Slytherins there went and hid them in the forest, so he asked Harry, Ron, and Hermione to go get the copies of the books. So that's what our class is going to entail. So that's what we're going to do. But the main thing here is that each of the trio here has just gained a new spell that is specific to themselves. Harry has Defendo, which is a slashing spell. Hermione has Glacius, which is a freezing spell, which is great for crossing water, just like that. And then Ron got Spongify, which in battle makes it so enemies' attacks are halved in terms of damage, but in the overworld, it activates sponge pads that we can use to bounce up to other locations. Great crit. That's excellent. So we use the XP buff there. So that we get more experience from this fight. This is, of course, the first book of Book of Monsters. Ron used a Wizard Cracker there, which not only does a flat 20 damage, but it also makes it so it drops an extra item, which is useful for when we're going to sell items later on. Okay, so if this hits... All right, so that fight was fast because we got the Harry crit, so that was good. The next month, so there are 5 books that we need to collect in this segment, so that was the first one. Oops, I went the wrong way with the spells. So now you get to see Harry's slashing spell, which helps slash like webs and stuff in the overworld. Yeah, we need to collect 5 books, and we collect them by defeating them, of course. There's the second one up top there. Good study habits again for the extra XP. It's actually the same exact pattern fight. So we're gonna get good study habit lecture. Harry is gonna use Defendo repeatedly. Ron is gonna use his Wizard Cracker first, and then Incendio therefore, and then Hermione is gonna use Incendio as well. These fights aren't dangerous. They're optimized for the end game, because we want to have a specific amount of items, of course. We want to have a specific amount of money for things that we need to buy at the end, and then they're just optimized to complete these fights as fast as possible too. Oh, miss. That's lame. I mean, that's annoying. That's actually fine. So the reason why it's slower, it's going to be slower here, but we are going to see the first instance in the run. Actually, we don't have enough. We're going to have to Incendio here. The first instance in any of the Harry Potter games of leveling up a spell. If you, in any of the games for Harry Potter 1 GBC, Harry Potter 2 GBC, or this one, Harry Potter 3 GBA, if you cast one spell a certain amount of times, you will level the spell up to be able to cast a higher level version of the spell that does more damage and costs more magic. And this game's any percent run is the only time we do that, and it's for Hermione's Incendio. We wanted to get to Incendio Duo, so it was the first fight, because it went so fast. Was we actually skipped Hermione Incendio, which is good because it was fast fight, but it makes it so Hermione won't level up that spell as quickly as we want. So the miss kind of just counteracted that and made it so Hermione got to cast an extra spell. So this fight's a little bit different. We used a proper wand technique lecture on Harry that time. And that buffs Harry's damage, so it makes it so his spells do more damage. Hermione can cast on any of the trio, including herself. But we chose to do it on Harry because Defendo does the most damage. Oh my gosh, that fight was incredibly fast. Wow, okay. And we also use Stink Pellet with Ron there, which stuns for a turn. It does very minimal damage, but it stuns. Wow, that I can't believe. I don't think that fight has ever, I've never done the fight that fast. Wow. Okay, so now we're already on to book 4. She's gonna use proper wand technique again, but she's gonna use it on herself because Harry's MP is low and he didn't level up yet. He still has enough MP for one Defendo cast though, so we're gonna use it. Of course it misses. Wizard Cracker again here. Hermione is going to use Incendio, which is buffed by her own lecture, so that's good. Since Harry has no magic, we're just going to spam Flipendo with Harry, which still does damage. Doesn't do nearly as much as like Incendio or Defendo, but it still does damage. Sorry, I was trying to time out a water drink there. Oof, man, 2 misses on this fight. It's like a perfect counterbalance to the last fight. Normally Harry only has to cast Flipendo once, maybe twice, but we're getting unlucky in this fight. All right, there we go. Finally, it's done. Okay, so that's the 4th book. We only have one more. We're actually gonna pick up this chest right here. It's a Grand Pepper Up potion, which is very important. Oops. And these are just using optimal spell changes in order to solve the puzzles as fast as we can. Here's the 5th and final book coming up here. We're gonna use proper wand technique on Harry now because he has magic again. And Ron is gonna use the Stink Pellet for a 1-turn stun again. Mine is gonna use Incendio. Harry's gonna use Defendo. And provided we don't get like any crazy crits in the fight fast, Ron is actually going to heal Harry's magic on his turn. Because Harry won't level up before the boss fight in this area. So we want Harry to be at full magic for that boss fight. And we only need one more turn to kill this book anyway, so it's fine. And using healing items in battle is actually faster than using it in the overworld because you have to go through a couple menus in order to just get to your potions. So it's a little bit faster to do in battle than it is to pause, go into a menu, go into another menu. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so the final boss of this area is the Venomous Tentacula, back at it again. From our HP2 run. Very simple fight though. Similar process. We're going to one technique Harry. Harry's going to use Defendo. Ron's going to use the Cracker. It's all very basic stuff. The only thing that we have to keep an eye on here is we actually have to keep an eye on Ron's health. We want to make sure Ron doesn't cross a certain threshold of damage, or else we'll have to actually just change a strategy of ours later on. That's unfortunate. That was a really early death there, but we can still squeak by probably. It just makes it so the Tentacula is more likely to target Ron, which is unfortunate, but we can still squeak by. Good, he's actually attacking Harry. Even better that he missed, so. There we go. Okay, so not too bad. Little slower than normal. Hermione died relatively fast, but she just got super targeted. And Ron didn't get touched, so we don't really have to change up any strategies, which is good. The reason being, so whenever you're not using a character in this game, for example, if we're in a portion of the game that only uses Harry and Hermione and Ron is left out, the person you're not using will still get a random amount of experience. So there is a tiny chance that in the next segments of the game, since we won't be using Ron at all much, he will get enough experience to level up, but it's almost impossible. We'd have to get pretty lucky. It's not almost impossible, it's just unlikely. Therefore, Ron won't be leveled up by the next big boss fight we have to do with him. And if he is too weak, we have to use a paralyzation spell in order for Ron to not die super early. That's all. That's all that matters. But here we are, and this game also has mini games. And the best part is we can skip all of them by just pausing and clicking exit game. It's the best. I love that. All you gotta do is pause and exit game. You do not have to play any mini game at all in this whole game. It's great. For whatever reason, we can walk on this like back texture too. It's kind of like walking on the hills, but it's the fastest way to get back to the bridge, so there we go. All right, so we have yet another class, which is potions. This potions class is gonna give us one of those choices to choose between using Harry and Hermione or Harry and Ron. Harry and Hermione is fastest, so we're gonna choose Harry and Hermione. And it does have a decently hard boss fight that has a good, not an overwhelming chance to kill us, but a decent chance, so we are gonna save before it. But yep, we're gonna cut through here. We're gonna Lumos this. What we need to do is grab, I think it's 5 potion ingredients, if I'm not mistaken. That's the first one of 5. Trying to wait here so I don't hit this encounter. That's the second of 5. Whoa, that was weird. Okay. Ugh. Let's see if we can get around it on this side. Nope. Yeah, that was like right in our way. Not much we could do about it. Oh, okay, this is misleading. So when I played this game casually, I thought that this was blocked by the chest. You can just walk right through the chest. Here's the third ingredient. And we're gonna freeze some water here, and this is where we're gonna save. Because this troll fight can be, as described, trolly. The troll going before Hermione is incredibly rare. So Hermione is very fast, and she outspeeds basically everything in the game. So the fact that the troll in this instance outspeeds it is really, really rare. I've actually never seen it. So pretty crazy. We paralyze the spell. We hope the troll stays paralyzed at least 2 turns in order to give us a chance to survive. Though we would really prefer 3 now that it got to go first. Kind of unfortunate. So hopefully it still stays paralyzed. One more turn, please. Darn. Okay. So we're in a little bit of a precarious situation. We might end up dying. We'll see. Harry is going to Grand Pepper up Hermione so that she can continue to class Glacius. Glacius is the spell that does the most damage to this troll. So that's why we buff Hermione as much as we can. I'm actually glad it attacked Harry there, so that's good. A crit would be really nice to ensure that we could survive. Well, that crit helps, I suppose. Don't hit Hermione. Man, we might have to reset here. We'll see. Yep. Yep, I have never seen the troll outspeed Hermione ever. So that was really unusual to me. Unfortunate reset here. Not new game. Jeez, not new game, please. All right, here we go. Yeah, see, this is more normal. This is normal. Now, a good chunk of times the troll will outspeed Harry. That's not unusual. But the fact that it outspeeded both of us was strange. That's really unfortunate still, though. We wanted it to be paralyzed at least 2 turns to have the most optimal way to survive. And in case you haven't gathered, you can cast Petrificus multiple times in a battle, but it will not work past the first time. You can only paralyze an enemy once per battle. Okay. Come on, River Troll, just cooperate. Ugh. Unbelievable, man. Hermione could have survived that had the troll not done 70 damage. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Marathon luck, am I right?
Classic case of JK trolling.
That's right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see what we get now. All right, so now we get to see what all 3 look like. We got to see Troll go first, Troll go second, and Troll go third. All right, just stay paralyzed for more than 1 turn, please. That would be really helpful. Nope. There we go. Yes, good. Yeah, this is right. I think we heal Hermione's magic next turn, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. So Harry will heal Hermione's magic next turn. That's fine. Come on. A crit would be great. Okay, of course not. All right, the troll should die now. But of course I got 2 deaths there. Of course, then we get a crit there. That actually does save a turn, but still. Yeah, quite a bit of time lost here, unfortunately. Minutes. 2 deaths there is absolutely brutal. But that's why we pad this estimate there. Troll gives us the 4th ingredient, and then that's the 5th one. So now we can, all we got to do is just make our way back out. Same way we came in. I don't agree with that hitting me. Again, I cannot say how rare it is to see things outspeed Hermione. It's very unusual. There we go. All right. There we go. All right, then we just got a little cutscene here, but yeah, we lost 4 minutes in that section. Just absolute insanity. Like I said going into that fight is dangerous and we could die, but dying twice, especially on that second fight where both Harry and Hermione outspeeded the troll, that was very unlikely. I wasn't surprised to die that first time when the troll outspeeded both of us, but yeah. Oh well, moving on. We have another little mini class here of defense against the dark arts, but it's not really a class because we don't do much. This is the classic Boggart sequence in the movie and book, but we skip it. There we go. We were meant to skip it, but I went too fast and pressed an input first. All right. Back out we go. We just need to make our way back up to the Gryffindor common room, which is so much nicer to do with the portrait room. All right. All right, so we just got some like a little bit of a story exposition here, a cutscene where we have to again go chase scabbers and all this junk. Not really much going on. Do we have any plugs or donations worth mentioning?
Currently no donations, but let me remind you of the upcoming runs. We have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, glitchless as a co-op run. That's probably gonna be exciting. Then we have Harry Potter 2. Also glitchless on PC. We have Harry Potter 1 again. We have a lot of Harry Potter 1 in this marathon, if you didn't notice already. In the super speed percent category. And we also have, thanks to your generosity, a super secret special bonus run. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. That run, the run that is a bonus run is not... It's unlike any other run that we've had in this marathon so far, so you're definitely gonna want to see it. All right, so the fat lady, I don't like calling her that, but that's what her character name is, has ran away because the portrait was attacked by Sirius Black, presumably. So we actually just have to go find it. We have to go all the way down here. and talk to her. These stairs are my least favorite part in this whole run because they're like isometric, weird view. So the movement on the stairs is very complex. And I most often will make weird turns or accidentally like go into a floor I didn't mean to. So hopefully I don't do that here. But we did find the fat lady back down on the second floor. Almost made a bad turn there, but I corrected it in the last moment. There we go. And the reason why we can't use portraits there is because one of the portrait portals is blocked by the fat lady there, so can't really do anything by it. But here we are. Sir Cadogan is now protecting, and we're all, you know, we're all good again. You might notice, and especially in comparison to HP2, and definitely we didn't see it, but HP1 GBC is chock full of glitches. Harry Potter 2 for Game Boy Color has a fair share of glitches. This game has no glitches at all. This is actually, it's any percent because it's still the fastest way to complete the game, but it could also be called any percent glitchless because we do not do any glitches at all in this run. We completely play the game as intended. So we head on over to what is actually Defense Against the Dark Arts again, but this time Snape is at the helm. And this segment is like a little bit lengthy. We have a long extended sequence where we have to get a book about werewolves. I'm not sure why, of course. But we have to get the werewolf book is like torn to shreds, and we have to get 5 pages of the book, and they're all spread out through the library using Spongify pads and stuff like that, and we have to dodge encounters and all that. So it's a bit lengthy, and then we do have a somewhat lengthy boss fight too. We grab that potion there just for safety for later on. Gonna be very useful. We actually have to go, so this is the library, but we have to go down to this floor of the library. It's a 2-floor library. Talk to Madam Pence to find out about the book being shredded, and we have to go find all the pages and whatnot. All right, so first one is right up here. This part is made a little bit lengthy as well by the fact that encounters can really get in your way. Hopefully we don't have to deal with them too much, but there's the first page. Oops, wrong spell. Well, that's fine. We'll just do it that way. Second page. You might be thinking, ooh, it's going fast, right? But no, this is the only platform that has 2 pages. The rest of them only have 1. We grab this for an important card combo later on. All right, let's see. I'm trying to see if I can get by this without hitting the encounter. Doesn't look like it's gonna give me the choice. Oh, wow, okay. I seemingly walked right through it. That was interesting, okay. All right, I don't even have an explanation for that. It looked like I walked right through the encounter. Anyway, so we have the second puzzle here. Fine, we'll finish it. I usually do it in a different order there, but I can just tightly squeeze through here. There we go. It's a little bit slower to do it that way, but it's fine. There we go. There's page 3. All right, and that's all on this floor of the library. Luckily, this Spongify pad is right here, which is convenient. Yeah, I didn't foresee how we were gonna dodge that one, so that's fine. This is also unfortunate placement. I want to see if I could dodge this one. Okay, now we have this library book. We're gonna proper wand technique. Oh, I hope I didn't rub off my scar there. I had to scratch my head, but hopefully I didn't rub off my scar. Then we're going to Defendo with Harry. And now it's okay if Ron gets hit. Even if Ron gets crit on, it's fine. It's fine. Now we're gonna Petrificus it with Ron. And now Harry and Hermione are just going to continuously use Incendio and Defendo until it's dead. Obviously, Hermione buffed Harry with the proper wand technique. So Harry's going to do a little bit more damage. But Ron is going to become kind of a utility player here. Oops. He's going to cast Spongify first so that the book does half damage. While Harry and Hermione continue to deal all the damage. As you can see, it does considerably less damage. Now Ron is going to heal Harry's magic so Harry can continue to use Defendo. Defendo obviously takes up a good chunk of magic points, so that's why we constantly buff Harry with more magic so he can continuously use Defendo. All right, now Ron is going to use the Cracker so he can get some more money / objects, which is very useful, obviously. And now that's all of Ron's utilities done. Now Ron can just cast spells like the rest of us. He doesn't have much magic left over. I think he's got enough for one Incendio, if I'm not mistaken. If my calculations are correct. Nope, that's fine. He just has enough for Rifflepindo, which is fine. That's because that Tentacula fight went a little weird. So he had to cast one extra spell in that fight than he normally would have. Not a big deal, though. And that's the last time we will fight a book in this run. If you were counting, that was 7 fights against monsters, Monster Book of Monsters. 7 different fights. Page 4. And then we just got one last platform to jump up here. These hitboxes of these little things are so strange. I'll never understand them. All right, that's our last book page. We're also going to grab this chest, which has a wizard card if we need for a card combo. And we finally have all the books. Book pages, rather. Hermione repairs it back into like a regular book. And she, of course, does all the work in terms of putting an essay for us together. And then we just have to make our way back up to the classroom ourselves, which we're actually going to go upstairs because it's on floor 3. And walk all the way back across. Not too bad of a segment. The library book was a little bit slow, but we hit minimal encounters. I think we only hit one random encounter, which is pretty good. Usually you could hit as many as 2 or 3 in there. The hallways are very tight and narrow, so. All right. So these next few splits, there's not much going on in terms of technique. It's mostly just like the last little bit of plot dump that the game does before we get into like the final boss rush of the end game, as it were. All right, so we head back up here to the common room. We're gonna just go in the common room. We're gonna find that we get a Firebolt. If you're holding your breath for any Quidditch or flying mini games in this run, I'm sorry that there aren't any. We don't do any, despite there being a plot hook, I guess, about the Firebolt. We don't use it at all. So, sorry to all the Quidditch fans out there. All right. But yeah, all we got to do here is, now that we got a Firebolt, we got to go down to Hagrid's hut, tell him that we got a Firebolt, and then he's going to be too sad because they have, since Buckbeak attacked Draco, they're trying to sentence Buckbeak to death. We're going to try and do some research, but it's going to be futile. So yeah, any other plugs or donations, go for it.
I muted myself again. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I had a feeling because you were unmuted and then you were muted after that. So,
if there's this time, I'm just gonna say a few words about Trans Lifeline.
Please, yeah, we got ample time.
Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we are currently supporting Trans Lifeline, which was founded in 2014 as a peer support crisis hotline. The hotline was and still is the only service in the United States in which all operators are transgender. And because of the particularly vulnerable relationship transgender people have with the police, it is also the only service in the country with a policy against non-consensual active rescue. To learn more about the Trans Lifeline project, you can visit translifeline.org, and the donation link to support the project financially is going to be in the chat right now.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, it's just can't iterate enough how important this cause is. Obviously, we're kind of supporting it in an act of rebellion in terms of, obviously, this is not something that the creator of the series would support, but it's not only in rebellion of her, it's just an important organization that needs to exist. So they entirely run on funds provided by donations. So people like us, people who can supply them with any bit, every little bit helps, is what keeps an organization like that alive. So thank you to everyone who's donated so far, and thank you to those who are considering it as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for your generosity. We surpassed our goal way a lot. So thank you very much.
Now, just because we surpassed our goal does not mean we got to stop the donation train, though. I want to see more. Oops, I went the wrong way. I want to see more house points. Right now, again, Gryffindor is dominating, and I know most people don't like us Gryffindors. So, if you want Gryffindor to win, I guess you can donate more towards Gryffindor. But if you want to see Gryffindor taken down for once, get those donations in for Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin. They're all kind of tied with Gryffindor far ahead. I think we need more donations. Right now, our goal is set at $750, which is obviously miles above where we thought we were going to be. But I would really love to see by the end of the day if we can get towards that $750 mark. That would blow me away if we could do that. So hopefully we can.
I mean, we actually got a Slytherin donation, but that was before your run started, so I'm not sure if it counts or not. So
yeah, we'll count it. Why not? We'll count it. We need to go 4-3. Yeah, we'll count towards it. So Slytherin is in a slight second place lead.
Just like just like in the books.
Yeah, just like in the books. But where's all that Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff pride? Come on now. All right, so nothing much happened there. Like I mentioned, we tried to go to the library to see if we can get any information on how to not get Buckbeak executed, but it didn't work out. We head back into the Great Hall where there's supposed to be a feast. Our Firebolt is taken away. And they, for some reason, they throw in a little mini game that's kind of like Bejeweled or something with wizard crackers and candy. We just skip it, obviously, and then we have another Expecto Patronum lesson where we start learning about the Patronus Charm, a spell that we never use in battle, by the way, but it's there. And then, yeah, now we just have even more plot exposition before we make our way back down towards like the end game sequence here, pretty much.
We got a donation.
Oh,
sadly,
okay.
it's not a house point donation. I'm sad to say, but it's a $1 donation by Tempest Mask 1000, who says, "Hello everyone. I wish I had the chance to submit something, but alas, I'm no Harry Potter runner as of right now. Nor can I contribute a lot, but I can at least try to give something to a worthy cause. I'm friends with quite a few people who are transgender, be it speedrunners or no. I say I care. Thank you very much for your donation, and it doesn't matter how much you give, every donation is welcome and very much appreciated, so thank you very much."
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, a dollar, cents on the dollar, everything helps, because they, like I'd mentioned before, they're completely funded by people who are generous enough to donate, so any little bit helps. Even if it was a $1 donation train, I might try to spur that on. $1 donation train is great. If you can donate a dollar, thank you. We would be over the moon thrilled. But in terms of the house point things, well, any donation that doesn't say it specifically will just split evenly among the houses. So 25 cents per house there. All right, so we're going to do our lone shopping trip of the game here with Fred and George. Sell a bunch of stuff here. Oops. And we buy 2 potions and then a bunch of chocolate frogs. / cards, obviously. All right, so now we're making our way towards this in-game sequence here. We're going to go down to Hagrid's hut. We just bought a bunch of cards, and the reason why we buy a bunch of cards there is we need to do a bunch of card combos in these in-game sequences in order to survive. So we'll get into a little bit of the different card combos we're going to use, but we're going to go talk to Hagrid here, who's obviously very worried about... I must have skipped something. What did I skip? I was wondering, I had a suspicious gold split. You might have seen me eye off in the corner of my eye there. I was like, this is a suspicious gold split. I missed something. I must have missed something because I skipped a lot of time there. What did I miss? What did I miss? Library. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I know exactly what I did wrong. There's one, I'm supposed to go up one more segment and sleep one more time. That was my bad. I know what I'm doing. Oops, wrong way though. I was wondering, I was like, how did I save 45 seconds on something that doesn't matter? Yeah, okay, here we go. Back up. Back up to the Gryffindor common room. At least we got our shopping done, I suppose, so there's that. Okay, yeah, we gotta go back up here and sleep again. Yeah, that's what it was. No worries, no worries. Just gonna skip this split because it's all a mess now. All right. All right, now we can make progress towards going. The funny thing is too, so like when we head to Hagrid's, it's dark outside as well, which we don't leave the castle often, leave the common room area in the run often when it's dark outside. So when I left and it was dark, I was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. This is what's supposed to happen. But we left when it was dark because I woke up in the middle of the night. That's why it was dark. So yeah, just threw myself off a little bit there, but no worries. It doesn't really affect anything. Just waste some seconds walking back and forth. Now we get to go to Hagrid's and begin one of our. We have four boss fights left in the end of the game. The final boss of the game is obviously the most terrifying. You'll see when we get there. It's you can't prepare yourself for the amount of terror that happens in the final boss fight. But there's a few boss fights before that we'll get to see. All right, this is the natural progression of things. So we get a nice sound effect of a cat, and then the only voice line in the game, which is Ron yelling. All right, so it's our friend the Willow again. We're gonna start off right away with paralyzing it. Then we're going to use one of the card combos that we are now available to us because of we bought like literally hundreds of cards with all of the money we had. We sold everything we had that was not of use, and then bought like 1,000 sickles or galleons worth of cards. I can't remember what the what it is in this game. So that we can use a bunch of card combos in the end game. The first one we just used there was called Girding, which buffs our defense, but it buffs it for everybody. The second one we're using is extra XP, so that it doubles the XP earned from this fight. And that's all the card combos we're going to use for this one. Luckily, the tree is staying paralyzed for a good chunk of time here, so that's it. The longer it stays paralyzed, the more time we save, obviously, and then the more of a chance that we don't have to heal from this fight, but we usually do. If things went normally, at some point during this fight, Hermione will finally level up her Incendio spell to be Incendio Duo. But we'll see, because we had some weirdness with crits and stuff like that, so hard to say. That's a great crit. Thank you for that, Harry. Awesome. Nice miss. Ooh. We got a miss to balance it out, though. All right. So next turn, so Hermione's going to use Incendio this turn, but next turn she's going to heal Harry's magic with a Pepper Up potion. Hermione, please. 2 misses in a row? So unlike you. All right, so now Hermione's going to use that potion. So Harry can cast even more Defendos. This fight was going good with the crit with the Defendo crit, but then we just got another crit there, so it's still going pretty decently. One more turn, it should go down. And we didn't have to heal, which is always nice. Sometimes if it continuously like pummels one individual, then we'll have to heal at some point, but we didn't have to this fight, which is good. So we level up 4 times from this fight. Oops, there we go. Now we are in the base. We're underneath the willow, but we're heading into the Shrieking Shack basically. Now these are obviously pathways that we're meant to use Lumos on, but they're the same every time. So it looks a little strange. It looks like I'm kind of walking through encounter bubbles, but I'm actually walking underneath them, which would make sense if you could see the path. But I did unfortunately get unlucky and hit 2 there. Not much you can really do about it. Harry is the much faster choice here. I found that out recently when I just figured out I accidentally took Hermione there for the first time ever, and I'd never done it before. But I can say definitively that Harry is the faster choice here. You have to be very careful to cut exactly the middle rope. If you cut either of the other 2, you get into an encounter that you cannot skip and flee from. So you have to defeat it or die from it. All right, so the rest of the Shrieking Shack is basically a long extended puzzle sequence where we have to get all of the fountains up leading to the path that we need to, and then obviously what will happen there is Hermione will freeze the fountains in order for us to walk over them and then to the final door that we need. Each switch that we activate activates another one of the fountains. So we've activated 2 so far. There's 5 total. 1 of them was already active. Of course, we kind of got unlucky there, and they're both faster than us too, which is double unlucky. All right, so now we head down here. This one of the switches we had unlocked this path. Oh yes, we got it. So if we get fortunate path there, we can actually cross all 3 of those bridges in 1 Lumos cast. Most of the time you have to do 2 just based on where the encounters will get in your way basically, but we got pretty lucky there and got it in 1, which is nice. All right, we put the faucet back on there. You can now kind of see what I meant when I was running Chamber of Secrets, that this game balances out us barely using Hermione by barely using Ron in this game. Ron is not used in the rest of the game, so it's just Harry and Hermione from this point forward. See if I can make it. Probably not. Oh, just barely missed it. Unfortunate. So we only have 1 more switch to hit, and this last one is the lengthiest and also the most likely to hit encounters because it's a nice ice puzzle. But any free patch that saves us, like these little brown patches, are usually covered by encounters. So we'll almost always hit an encounter whenever we get onto a brown patch. Ooh, that's a bad one. Hopefully Harry can run. There we go. There we go. Darn, yeah, see, we just kind of, there's not much you can do about it. I should have just went back. I don't even know why I tried that one. Don't paralyze Hermione too. Oh gosh. So we might die here, which would be really bad. Not because it would like lose, it just loses a bunch of time. We have to walk all the way back here. That's all. Because we're paralyzed, we can't do anything. Yep, we're dead. So we're gonna have to walk all the way back here, unfortunately. This game does not want to give me any good RNG at all. Marathons. All right, so here we are again. Geez, the encounters are rampant here too. Okay. It was honestly for the best at that point that we had died anyway, because our health would have been super low for the boss of this area, so it's probably best now because the health is reset. And we don't have to hit all the switches again. We just have to walk back here. So it's not the end of the world, it's just slow. All right, so we got by that one. Just bad luck. There we go. And weirdly enough, you can slide diagonally. You might be used to, like, say Pokemon or something where you would only be able to slide in the cardinal directions. Oops. It's fine, we can fix it from here. But you can slide diagonally as well, which cuts a lot of corners. Oh boy. This is pretty much like the worst ice puzzle you can get. Just like, obviously since we died it was bad, but in terms of encounter luck too, it was just awful. But we finally have all the fountains raised, so we can now cross them. All right, now we just have a bit of plot exposition, and then we just have to walk all the way back the way we came. So if we got any other plugs, hopefully I would love to hear if we have some more donations, but we'll see.
I'm sorry to tell you that the house cup doesn't seem to be that popular. But I can tell a bit about TRAM. This marathon was formed by people in the speedrunning community as a response to the anti-trans bullshit the creator of Harry Potter spewed around. Everybody involved in this event believes that trans rights are human rights and magical. And as a result, we are supporting Trans Lifeline. And if you want to do that as well, you can donate via the link in the chat.
Very good, very good. I guess everyone's just content with Gryffindor winning the House Cup, which honestly is fine by me, because I'm a Gryffindor, so sounds good. But I would love to see some more donations. It's such a great cause. Get those donations in. Like you said, $1 helps, cents on the dollar helps, and everything helps. All right, at least we've been getting favorable encounters that we have a decent chance of running from. The skeletons are the really bad ones, especially these green ones, because when they hit you, they paralyze you. We're gonna get stuck in a loop again, I think. Yep. That was dreadful. Ugh. I can't believe this marathon luck that when they tell you to set an estimate, they tell you to, like, when the worst case scenario happens, right? So the RNG that I'm getting in this run is almost the worst case scenario. Like, there could have been some worse things, but it's like almost as bad as it could possibly get, which is just unfortunate. All right, so we're going to we use wand technique on Hermione there because eventually she'll get duo as a spell. Of course, geez. Okay, so we are going to we're just gonna incendio. We don't have a choice here. We also don't have a choice here. So what we would do here is we would use girding to raise the defense. I was hoping that this troll would stay paralyzed for more than just one turn. Of course, we didn't get that because it obviously does massive damage. So but I needed to heal because Hermione would have died if I didn't. So I chose to heal instead, and now Harry will do girding for the defense. All right, let's see what we're given now. Jeez, just so unfortunate. Not to mention that Hermione still hasn't leveled up. Oh wait, no, she did. Oh, I missed that. Okay, there we go. So we do have duo. That's good. I thought she hadn't gotten it yet, but luckily we do have it. We need to. Do we need to heal? Yes, we actually need to heal again, unfortunately, because of that. So, we're gonna use the Grand Wiggenweld on Harry just to get her, just because it's a little faster than using Replenish SP. And saves a little bit of resources. This game really does not want to give me any help. I think we have to heal again. Yep, we sure do. And now we have to use Replenish SP. Hermione's also gonna have to take a turn of just regular Incendio because she doesn't have enough magic, which I was going to do on Harry's turn had he not been hit, but of course he was hit. So gonna pepper up on Hermione there. Finally, something fortunate. All right, there we go. So now we're just kind of Incendioing it to death until, you know, it's over. Then after this, there's only 2 fights left. A crit would be so nice. Please give me a crit. Ugh. Let's see where it's. I'm gonna have. I was thinking about replenishing Hermione's MP there so she can cast more duos. I'm gonna see how it feels without doing that. Just see if we could save the time. It still does a decent chunk of damage. If I feel like it's going too slow after her last MP usage, then I will replenish. I think it's fine though. I think Harry can actually kill from here. No, one more though. That's fine. That would have been nice if it just killed there. That would have been good, but that's fine. We don't need to do XP on this. We actually don't need that much extra experience. That didn't kill. I'm shocked. Okay. I'm actually shocked. All right. This should kill then, I would imagine. Yeah, okay. It was super close. We don't need we don't need to use extra XP here. The 250 is more than enough for what we need next. We're going to be very close to estimate, I think. Within a minute, I think, depending on how these last couple splits go. Yeah, like I said, it's just basically the worst case scenario run, unfortunately. You hate to see it, but it's still a fun game, and it's still been a good showing, so. This is not me moving, this is all just a part of the cutscene here. Can just skip that mini game, which is nice. And now we go into the back in time portion of the run where Hermione rather uses her time turner. We don't have to do too much in this section. We only have, like I said, we only have 2 intended fights left. So which I'll spoil it for you a little bit. The next one we fight is the Lupin werewolf. Really? Okay. Okay, thank you. That fight is not dangerous, it's just long. And then we have the true terrifying end game boss fight. Ugh. There we go.
Which is not gonna be Voldemort for a change, so that's exciting.
That's true. That's true. No Voldemort sightings in this game, so. All right, so we didn't hit any encounters there, which is definitely helpful towards our towards barely making estimate, I think. All right, so now we got Buckbeak in the party, and the Lupin werewolf fight, like I mentioned, it's not dangerous. And the main reason that it's not dangerous is because Lupin cannot target us at all. It can only target Buckbeak in the fight. So all we do in the fight is we buff Buckbeak as much as we can. If we need to heal Buckbeak, then we'll heal it using a card combo. We can't use any, well, actually, no, we can use potions and stuff on Buckbeak, but we don't have any healing potions. We'll use card combos, and we'll just basically do everything we can to protect Buckbeak. Pretty simple, it just takes a bit. So here's the fight. Darn. Okay, so what we're gonna do is Hermione is going to anti-paralyze Buckbeak here. Harry is gonna cast Petrificus Totalis. Little bit out of order than what we usually do, but because Buckley got paralyzed, we have to do it this way. What we would have liked to have done there is we would have liked to have buffed Buckbeak first, because right now Buckbeak is doing a flat 38 damage, but we can actually use proper wand technique on Buckbeak to make it do more damage. So, oops, well, that's fine. We need to use this anyway, but I meant to use a different card combo. So, because Lupin can't target us, we can't target Lupin with spells either. That means none of our spells do damage to him. It only does 1 damage, rather. So the only way to do damage outside of Buckbeak is using card combos with Harry. And Harry has 2 card combos that we can use that will do 20 damage flat, which are the Rain of Bludgers, which we saw earlier, and then the Sonorous Charm, which is the one I just did. Bludgers is the faster of the 2, so hopefully we have enough card combos to do Bludgers basically for the rest. Yeah, we have plenty of, I think we have 8, so that should be fine. And you also might have seen as well that Hermione casts a spell called Fumos, and that's actually probably making your screen look a little weird right now. So what might be happening is that either Buckbeak will be on the screen or he won't, but that's actually not at all what I'm seeing. Buckbeak is actually blinking on my screen, but it's blinking at 60 frames per second. So each frame it's blinking and off blinking. But because the stream is only running at 30 frames per second, either it will be solid or it will be non-existent. That's all you can see. But for me on my screen, it's just blink because I'm seeing it at 60 frames per second. So. And then, yeah, we just continuously do this. We just spam Flipendo with Hermione because it's the fastest. Not because it does 1 damage or, you know, more damage than any other spell. It's just the fastest one to use. Yeah, we actually got really lucky. So the cards that we do get from when we go shopping are not set. So we could have gotten, you know, maybe only like two Bludger combos, and we would have had to use Sonorous for the rest. You know, we could have gotten unlucky like that, but we didn't, so that's good. We have plenty of Bludgers, which, like I mentioned, is the fastest. Just for safety, I'm actually going to do Replenish SP here, just in case, because if Buckbeak is not capable of critting on Lupin, but Lupin is capable of critting on Buckbeak, so it's not really fair. But if he had crit on Buckbeak, Buckbeak would have died. So I'm not gonna take that chance. I'm just gonna heal it once. And after this Bludger and 1 more attack, Lupin should be down, I think. I think that's enough to do it. Let's see. Yep, that's enough. And because we used extra XP, we level up, I think, 6 times in this fight. Or 5 times. All right. That was the second to last fight. We have 1 more fight, which is just the final boss of the game. A terrifying individual that I'm dreading the fight because, like, it's just too scary. All right, but first we got to get there, of course. So 1 last tiny little puzzle sequence. It's very small. We choose between going from Harry or Hermione here. Hermione is the faster, so we choose Hermione. We cast Glacius, so it's now an ice screen here. Oops, this is bad. I went a little bit too far over to the right there. You can actually just do this ice puzzle in 2 moves, but I had to reevaluate because I went too far over to the right. Wasn't paying attention. But the Dementors are coming. So terrifying. Don't want to get touched by them. And this ice puzzle is really easy. You just go that way once and then diagonal once. There you go, and that's how you solve that. And the true final boss is here, Draco Malfoy. Yeah, it's anticlimactic of a final boss, and I don't really understand why Draco is the final boss of this game, but he is. That's just how it is. His purpose here is he's defending the cage in which Sirius is locked in, I guess. But the spell that works best on Draco is Wingardium Leviosa, actually. And we buff Hermione because Hermione does more damage and has more magic, so it can cast that spell more. Crit by Harry there is really good. Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot. I got to do girding with Harry right here. I forgot. Another crit, though. That's really good. We just want to do girding so we have higher defense. And then time is actually going to be at the end of this fight after we clear all the rewards stuff. So we're coming up close to it. All right, so next turn, Harry's gonna heal Hermione's MP. Oops, well, thought I was on Harry for a second. There we go. So Hermione's gonna cast Wingardium. Harry's gonna heal Hermione's MP just to make sure we have enough magic to get us through the end of the fight. We're actually gonna do that with a card combo. For whatever reason, when we use the replenish MP card combo, it only heals one person's magic, but SP heals everyone's health. So I'm not really sure what the decision behind that was, but yeah, you can only target one person with the MP. Let's see. We could potentially heal Harry's magic here too, but because we got 2 crits, which is really good, I'm actually not going to bother. And we're just going to do one more casting here, and time is coming up. All right, time is up after this screen clears, so... And time. Jeez. Just under the wire, but yeah, that run was shaky. Thank you, R. First shout out goes out to RNG for sure, because I'm sorry, good RNG couldn't be here, but at least we got the bad RNG so you could see it. So shout outs to RNG. Luckily, we still finished under estimate, so that's why we pad heavy RNG estimates like this. But thank you to everyone involved with this marathon. That's all of the staff at the Fast Force for allowing us to host on their channel. Everyone involved in creating the event. So Leica, thank you. Castosaur for coming up with the idea, of course. Mylan, who's been in charge of all the tech side of things remotely, which has been really good. NES underscore, Helix, I have Newt, everyone involved, thank you so much for making this possible. We still have plenty of runs left to go, some exciting stuff, so stick around. And if you're interested in this game, speedrun.com/HP3GBA. There's a Discord there you can join. You can take a look at some of our guides and resources too. But thank you for having me, and I'll see you around for the rest of the event today.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna go to a short intermission, and then I'm gonna give the mic over to Conception.
That's right.